So last weekend was a very difficult weekend for Red Bull Racing driver Brian Vickers. He had to step out of the car because he was undergoing treatment for blood clots around his lungs and in his legs. Casey Mears drove the car last weekend. He will drive the car this weekend as well. And at a press conference yesterday here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Brian Vickers announced that he would be out for the rest of the season.
The announcement that I have to make right now is that you know, Dr. Clementine, myself, and the people that we work through him have decided that due to what's happened and due to the blood thinners that I'm on, that I will be out of the car for a minimum of 6 months for the rest of the year. And if something changes and I can get back in sooner, then great. But right now, it's going to be the remainder of the season. As you can imagine, that is killing me. No pun intended. I really miss being back in the car. It was really hard last Sunday not to watch the race on TV, you know, not to be in the car. It was funny. I was laying in the hospital with all these things going on, and instead of asking probably the right questions, all I kept asking is, can I race this weekend? And they were trying to be nice and saying, oh, we'll talk about it, but probably not. And then as reality set in, I realized this was going to be a much longer process than normal. But that being said, as disappointing as this is, it's an opportunity that I'm going to use to make the most of life and try to make it a positive, learn something from it. I'm going to spend some time with the race team, learning some different roles, spending some time on the pit box, trying to understand more of what they go through, what they do, spend some time on the spotter stand with Chris. I want to thank Casey Mears and thank the whole team for stepping up to the plate. Casey getting in as a friend, fellow driver, and doing a great job. Scott, the other team, the 82, everybody involved. What they've done, they've been very supportive to this whole transition process.
You know, listening to Brian talk, there's a lot of emotion in that voice, and that's a big deal. You know, I broke my leg in '91, had to sit out for 4 or 5 months. Kenny Wallace filled in. There is, from a driver's perspective, to see your car, your team, and especially for Brian Vickers, a team like Red Bull, that he came in, was the first driver, helped build that team, brought that team from missing races and the bad luck and the bad things that happened to him. He and Ryan Pemberton brought that team to be a contender. They made the chase. And now 4 or 5 races, or excuse me, 10 or 12 races into this season, now he's out because of health reasons. And when you're out because of health reasons, mentally you still say, I can get in that car and go, even though you know your body can't. It's an incredibly emotional time. It's a hard time for a driver. But Brian says he's going to learn, he's going to go with the team, he's still going to be a part of the team. And when Casey comes back, everyone knows that's Brian's car.
And you could tell that Brian Vickers has a great sense of humor, because he said the problem is I can drive the car, I just can't wreck the car. That's the problem. And the doctor said, well, if you can promise me you won't wreck, you can drive it. That's not, of course, not going to happen. And filling in for him is Casey Mears, and he is standing by with Wendy Venturini. Wendy?
Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, it was really great to see and hear from Brian Vickers this weekend here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the guy that's taking place for Brian Vickers, which seems to be for our next few races, possibly the rest of the year. Casey, how much pressure is it for you, or is it you just kind of step in and take over for a little bit?
Well, I mean, it's I don't think it's a whole lot different than any other time you ever get in a race car. I mean, you want to perform every time you get in. Obviously, the better you do, the better it is for everybody. So we're just focused on doing that. I mean, yesterday we weren't real happy. I wasn't happy with the way the car was handling, just because, you know, I haven't been in this scenario for a while. You know, Ryan and Brian both have worked together for quite a while to build something that worked very, very well for them together. At the same time, it's quite a bit different than what I've been used to. So we've just been really trying to find that happy medium. Although we want to go win this race today, there's a lot of money on the line, obviously. We're in it to win it this weekend. At the same time, it's a great opportunity, not being a points race, for us to test a little bit and kind of figure out what I need out of the car versus what Brian did. And that's kind of what we're doing tonight. We made some big changes from yesterday, and you know, hopefully more in the direction of what I've been used to.
And how difficult is that? Because obviously these cars were built for Brian's driving style and what Brian likes, and then you're stepping into his role. How much can you really change in the next few months that you'll be stepping into his seat?
Well, I think the built-in parts and pieces are still very, somewhat standard. It's what you bolt underneath it that's been a lot different, and there's a lot of good things about it. It's just different to drive than what I've been used to. So in a short amount of time, we're trying to find out what's the quickest path. Me to learn how to drive these cars, or them going more towards what I've been used to, and we're going to try that tonight. We're trying to go more towards that direction. See how it applies to the Red Bull team, and we'll go from there. But we're making a lot of progress, learning a lot in the meantime, and hopefully we'll have some fun tonight.
You're stoked, aren't you, to race the All-Star?
I can't wait. It's a bittersweet thing. Obviously I know Brian wants to be here. At the same time, I didn't earn it. So this is one of those races that you really want to feel like you earned your way in. But this team definitely did. They put in a lot of work and effort, and the late scenario with Brian, it was the right thing to do to let the team in, and I'm fortunately the guy that gets to do that. So I wish Brian was out there running, but at the same time, it's very fun to run this race.
Well, it's great to be seeing you in the garage area and with Team Red Bull, and it's great to see Brian Vickers here at the track this weekend, Johnny. And of course, he will take some time off. He's going to come to the track here and there, but he said he's going to take advantage of some downtime that he doesn't usually get.